FightHype.com here with world-class strength and conditioning coach Tony Brady. Tony, obviously I've been hanging out with you pretty much all day today. I got to see, a little bit of what you do with obviously Amir and some of the other fighters. But I wanted to ask you, obviously Amir's got the fight coming up May 29th with Chris Algieri. When you know your fighter is fighting someone, are there different routines you put them through based on who they're fighting?
Absolutely. There's certain things that we always want to improve, but then based on the opponent, you might work on, movement for certain guys. You might work on strength for certain guys. You might work on, anything that the boxing coach tells me that he needs to, improve to face that opponent. So I listen to Virgil, and whatever he tells me, I try to steer that direction also.
So, like I said earlier, obviously the opponent is Chris Algieri. Like, what kind of things would you be working on with Amir? I mean, obviously, don't give away. I know you're not going to give away the game plan or anything, but I think there's certain things about Chris Algieri. I mean, we know he's a mover. He likes to box.
It's pretty obvious with Chris. You know he's going to be in shape. That guy's a workhorse himself, so you can't take that for granted. You can't count on him tiring out like some guys. So he's going to be there for a full 12 if the fight goes that long. So you got to be ready to work that whole time, and then you also have to be prepared for his movement. He may bring the fight right to him. He may circle the ring. You have no idea. So the idea is you got to make sure that Amir is ready for that too. Which he's good at that anyway. So
is that difficult to, like? For example, I know Chris Algieri just switched trainers, so he's with John David Jackson now. So it might be a little bit hard to predict, the type of fighter that you're going to be facing on the 29th. So does that make your job more difficult?
No, because it's the first fight with a new trainer. You're not going to change the fighter he is. You might just have a different game plan for this fight. So, whatever game plan they bring, we're still looking at what he's capable of as a fighter, Even if we haven't seen every dimension of it up to this point, it's still, you kind of know, what he likes to do, what he doesn't like to do, what his style is. So if they just have a different game plan, then, that's on Virgil to, have them prepared to deal with whatever that is.
How long does it take for you to kind of gel with a fighter? Like when you first start working with them, I mean, obviously it probably takes them a little bit of time to get assimilated to the things that you want them to do. So is that something where it's like, it takes 1 or 2 fights or something, or is it more like after about 2 or 3 weeks they're into my program?
Gelling with a guy usually happens pretty quickly if it's going to happen. Now, getting to where it's a well-oiled machine, that's a couple camps in. Because there's certain foundational things I work on with guys, and then once they have those where they're second nature, then we can build from there. So we have a foundation in place, and then the basic stuff, I know I can count on them to do it the right way and do it on their own even, and then we can build from there. So for it to really be dialed in, 1 or 2 camps, and it gets better and better from there. The best results I've had have been with guys I stuck with for a period of time. But if you're gonna get along with him, if he's gonna like your style of training, you learn that pretty quickly. The guys who I mesh well with guys who really just have that heart of a champion and they just want to be the best. You can see it, like whether or not they talk about it, you can tell. As soon as they get in the gym, if he's the guy who always wants to finish first, always wants to be better than the other guys, that drives me, that motivates me to push them to be their best.
So there's so there's certain things you look for, like let's say a new client approaches you and wants to work with you. Are there certain things you look at and say, you know what, you're not my type of guy, I'm not going to work with you?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I've got a pretty good reputation in the sport. I had a lot of good fortune early on, and so I've had opportunities to work with some really elite guys. And if a guy I feel isn't in it to be the best, then I'm probably not his best fit. You know, if he's just just trying to be in shape for a fight, or just if his manager just wants me to do it. Yeah. That's not the ideal guy for me to work with, because I'm going to push him. I'm going to find whatever your weaknesses are. I'm going to find what you don't like to do, and we're going to challenge you in that area. And so you have to be ready to come out of your comfort zone. Yeah. If you work with me, otherwise we're just not going to do a good job together.
When you see a guy at a weigh-in, or if you see pictures of him, can you tell from his physique, like, the kind of stuff he did, or how well he was, training?
It doesn't tell the story, because everybody's genetics are different. You can compare it to how they've looked previously, and you can tell if somebody really didn't take it seriously, especially like in the heavyweight division. You can tell if somebody didn't take it seriously, but I don't read too much into that, But you can tell, if somebody's pretty ripped up, you can say, well, at least they did something. Now, whether or not they did the right thing or not is yet to be seen, but you can tell they put in some work. So it tells 20% of the story, but fight night tells you the real story.
Yeah. Speaking of fight night, May 29th, Chris Algieri, Amir Khan is going to be fighting him. What can fans expect to see from Amir Khan on that night?
Amir, still has that hunger that he talks about. He's going to keep improving, and he's going to still go out there and fight with that heart and that desire to just put on a performance. So I think we're going to get a great showing from him. He's going to go out there looking for a impressive victory that night. So
no doubt,
should be fun to watch.
Well, let the fans know, because I know you have an Instagram account. Yeah. But let the fans know where they can catch up with you.
Yeah, I post here and there on my Instagram, Tony Brady 310, and then Twitter, Tony_Brady.
Perfect. Thanks, man. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. Yeah.